It was 7 p.m. The sun had already set. The moon was lighting up the landscape below, while the tide was getting low. The sandbanks were being lighting up as Pachamama was painting the landscape with the moonlight. I asked to my pilot, Melanie, to turn the aircraft and say, let's fly here around. Recently, I learned that there it is a volcano between Harlingen and Vlieland. Something that was making me happy, as I have been chasing volcanoes around the world for many years. And now, there, supposed to be a volcano who call it Sidewall volcano in the Waddenzee. A place where I would at least expect it. Up in the air, but also from a ship on the Waddenzee. It is peaceful. The presence of nature is near, and you can feel that. Breathing the fresh air, smelling the salty air. But there, the beauty is there. And you have to know how and where to look. And it's my mission to show you how you could do that too. In 2030, that's me, I've been working on an article for National Geographic. As I was wandering the street of Amsterdam, and I met Jan Six from Hillegom, a keeper of the Rembrandt collections. He knows really a lot about the old meesters, Dutch meesters from the Golden Age. Jan Six brought me to his home, and it brought me actually face to face to some of his Rembrandt paintings. And in that moment, they were restoring the famous portrait Jan Six, his grandfather. Seeing the restorateur working with this century-old painting really inspired me. Jan pointed out how Rembrandt is working with light. And he said, if you observe well enough, you can find the light everywhere in Amsterdam. So that's what I did. I roamed the street of Amsterdam looking for this light. From spring the summer. The autumn. And the winter. The result, I have been publishing my book, The Amsterdam Canals, and on the cover of the National Geographic. Jan responds, you see, you found the light. Let me take you to the Waddenzee. This is one of my first pictures where I took from the Waddenzee. I was flying near Den Helder, and I saw the Waddenzee for the first time from above. It reminded me the layers of Rembrandt painting. I showed this image to Six, and he was so enthusiastic that he said, if you keep following the light, you will be able to make a masterpiece of the Waddenzee. And I did. I started my journey for 7 years long, following the light. When you see the Waddenzee from above, the Waddenzee from above is an entire living creature, and it breathes. If you really observe it, you can feel it. I connect to it with respect for nature. And then it reveals in all its beauty. I could stand here and tell you something about that technique. But the truth is, I don't think I'm the one who makes this marvelous artwork. It's Mother Nature. It's Earth. It shows itself. And as I deeply respect it, I have been learned to observe it. I know to catch it. When I'm flying, I can often predict when and where the clouds will open up. And you hear me screaming to my pilot, go to the left, go to the right, go up, go down. The light will be there in 5 seconds. This is how I can make photographs that show how incredible, beautiful the Wadden Sea is. How special and precious it is. The old explorers were taking risks to capture the light. So do I, to show something no one has been done before, even if it's risky. One day, I got another idea, and I want to make a photo showing the tulip fields around Den Helder and the Wadden Sea in one image. I discussed this with my colleague and friend and mentor, George Steinmetz, a famous area photographer. He calculated, you will need to go around 5,000 meters and 6,000 meters high to take that image. But in that high, there is no much oxygen. So in a normal photo flight, it will be impossible. But as I learned to never take an impossible to be impossible, I decided to call Teso Air, and I discussed my idea with a parachute instructor and a pilot. Well, there is a way. But it means that you have to make your photograph while you're jumping out of the airplane with 450 kilometers an hour. My response was, sure, no problem, let's do that. And we did. Later that day, I sent a picture to my friend George. He said, impossible. My childhood gave me an important lesson to me, that never anything really is impossible as long you are willing to take a flight or a dive. Traveling to discover lights, like the Dutch and many explorers did it. They did it with boats, with knowledge, using pencils to create a painting. Some of them risking their life, and some of them, they have been never coming back. I explored with passion, knowledge, with locals, with my camera, plane, drones, and helicopters. To photograph nature in all its beauty, to deeply connect to nature, spending as long as it's take, days and days if it's necessary, to really get to know your subject. And if the picture still does not come, it means you. You will have to dive deeper, jump higher, or fly faster. Thank you very much.